Okay, so this is obviously the periodic table. And you can find this in pretty much every single chemistry class, including my class when we eventually go back to the classroom. There's a huge one on the wall. But this is one I just found online. You can easily Google this and find a periodic table online. There's also one in the textbook. In the front cover of the textbook, you'll see that there is a periodic table. In pretty much most chemistry textbooks, you would probably find, for reference, a periodic table in the front. Okay, so when we start the chapter 1 notes, we'll talk about the elements, but you probably already know this anyways. So one of the first things you need to know for this class are the different elements, specifically their names and their symbols. And you don't need to know every single one of them because there's some that you'll probably honestly never use or hear about in your life unless you just so happen to work in chemistry. For instance, like samarium, element number 62. These elements here are even called the rare earth elements. They're not very common. So I'm not going to require that you know some of these, the less common elements. However, there are many common elements that you will need to know. And I want to say the names of these elements, so at least you've heard it, the pronunciation of it. I will be pronouncing it the American way. What do I mean by the American way? There are some elements on here, say, for instance, Al. We pronounce it aluminum in the United States, which I'm sure you've already heard. However, in some other parts of the world, in the UK, that will be aluminium. There also are other elements that, I actually want to go back. The names that we'll be using will be the English names. Although we'll be using the English names of these elements, the symbols do not change. Hydrogen is H, and H is hydrogen. Was it in another language? Was it in Chinese? I don't know. But the symbol doesn't change. It's kind of like, that's number 22 there. How do you say 22 in another language? It depends, there's different ways of saying it. However, the symbol 22 does not change. So the symbols are the same internationally, however, they may be pronounced or said differently depending on where in the world you're at. So I will be using the American pronunciation of these elements. And again, the symbols do not change internationally. The elements that you're going to have to know are elements 1 through 40, 42, 42 to 56, 42 to 56, 57, 74, 77 to 90, 92 to 100. I will be posting that online, that list of elements that you need to know. What do you need to know about them? That's your question. What you need to know is that, for instance, hydrogen's symbol is H. H is hydrogen. That's all you need to know about this. There will be a quiz on this stuff in about I believe it's going to be the next class. I will be introducing all these elements. So expect a quiz on this next class on all these elements. What I mean by that, if I say hydrogen, what is hydrogen? You should be able to choose H for hydrogen. Not He, because He is yet another element, helium over here. Helium is He. He is helium. Oh, and the quiz next class is going to be backwards and forwards. What I mean by that, it might say, question will be H, and you'll have to choose hydrogen. Or it could say hydrogen, and then you have to choose the symbol H. So it's backwards and forwards. You need to know this, all these elements, kind of like in third grade or so, you learned the multiplication table. You need to know that, your multiplication table, before you can do division and eventually algebra. So, well, that was 2 elements. Now let's continue on. We have lithium, Li. Lithium, Li. B is beryllium. B is boron. Carbon is C. Nitrogen, N. Oxygen, O. Fluorine, F. Neon, Ne. If you can't see this again, please download a periodic table online. There is one on my website, but please download a periodic table for reference, and you can see it on the screen instead of, if you cannot see it here. Okay, going on. The next element is sodium. Its symbol is Na. And I'm sure some of you guys wonder, wait a second, sodium, Na, I get lithium, Li, hydrogen, H, but how in the world is sodium Na? Shouldn't it be SO, SD, S anything? Where in the world did the symbol Na come from? Well, these symbols are international, and a lot of them, these names, came from the old Latin or Greek names. The old, I believe this one is Latin, the old Latin, it could be Greek, the old Latin name for sodium was natrium. And so now that you know the old name of sodium is natrium, that makes total sense of why Na is a symbol for sodium. So again, sodium is Na. Mg is magnesium. Al, aluminum. Si, silicon. Phosphorus, P. Sulfur, S. Chlorine, Cl. Argon, Ar. After that, we have potassium. Potassium is K. That's another one of these elements where the symbol does not match the name. Potassium is K, and it has to do with its old original name. Ca is calcium, Sc is scandium, Ti titanium, V vanadium, Cr chromium, Mg magnesium, Fe is iron, Co is cobalt, Ni nickel, copper is Cu. So notice Cu is copper. Cu is copper. Shouldn't it be Co? Well, remember, we just used Co right there for cobalt. So, yes, you would think that Co, it should be, Cu because it's from an old Latin or Greek name, but the symbol Cu is copper, Co is cobalt. A lot of students get these mixed up. We also have Cr chromium and just C carbon. It makes a difference. Cu is copper. Okay, next element is zinc, Zn, gallium, Ga, germanium, Ge, arsenic, As, selenium, Se, bromine, or pronounced bromine, Br, krypton, Kr. Over here, rubidium, Rb, strontium, Sr, yttrium, Y, zirconium, Zr. You don't need to know 41, but we are going on to element number 42, Mo, molybdenum. I know some people, based on how it's spelled, some people might say molybdenum. It's actually pronounced molybdenum. Okay, the next element we're going to do is element 42, we got 42, 46 to 57, 46 palladium, Pd, silver, Ag, cadmium, Cd, indium, In, tin, Sn, again, one of the unusual one because the old Latin or Greek name, antimony or antimony, Sb, tellurium, Te, iodine, Xe is xenon. We have Cs, cesium, Ba, barium. That's element 56. Oh, and 57 down here, lanthanum. Yes, you see here it says 57 to 71. There's a blank space here. That's actually down here, also known as the lanthanide series. So this whole row here is the lanthanide series. And these two, lanthanide and actinide series, 89, they actually go in here. Why is it down here? Well, otherwise it wouldn't fit on a single sheet of paper. It's kind of like sometimes when you have a map of the United States and you see Alaska and Hawaii cut off and put in the bottom corner. Why is it there? Of course, Alaska is not south of California. It's just so we can get it to fit on the paper. So elements 57 to 71, where it says right there, are down here, 57 to 71. So if we were to cut right here, this would squeeze in here and fill, and we'd have a really, really long periodic table. So why do we do that? Again, to fit on paper, also so we don't need an entire scroll. It'd be just very, very, very long. So we cut them out and shove them down there. So again, 57 is lanthanum. Then we have element 74 here. W is tungsten. So another one that is not from English. We have elements 77 to 90, 77 IR iridium, PT platinum, AU gold, HG mercury, TL thallium, PB lead, BI bismuth, PO polonium, AT acetine or astatine, RN radon, FR francium, RA radium. From here, 88, 89's down here again. Remember, these would normally fit in there. AC actinium, TH thorium. You don't need to know 91, but 92 to 100 you do need to know. U is uranium, NP is neptunium, PU is plutonium, AM is americium, CM is curium, BK berkelium, CF californium, ES einsteinium, FM fermium. So these are the elements that you need to know for the quiz next class. What is on this quiz? Well, only these elements. There will not be questions that are not on the list. So it will only be these elements. And what you need to know for these is the names to symbols. For instance, there could be a question like, hey, what element is cobalt? And you should be able to pick, it will be multiple choice, pick CO for cobalt. Or what is the element for titanium? Ti is titanium. It will go backwards as well. Could be a question of what element has the symbol Ag? And Ag, where is it right there, is silver. So you should know the names to symbols, symbols to names. There will be questions that go both ways. Names to symbols and symbols to names. So that's our periodic table that you need to know. So it's one of the first things that you need to know for this class, and as well as all chemistry classes, you've got to know the symbols and names. Just like in third grade, you're expected to know the multiplication table. Here, you're about to know the elements and their symbols. So that's it for today about the periodic table, introducing the elements. There will be a quiz on these elements the next time. And that's it about that. Oh, one more thing about the quiz. Don't start the quiz until you've memorized these. So take the time. What else do you have to do? Where are you going? So take the time and memorize the names, the symbols, names. How should you do it? I admit, this is just plain old memorization. I don't know, make flashcards, do whatever you got to do, okay? You just, at the end, somehow know vanadium is V, V is vanadium. Strontium is SR, SR is strontium. Magnesium is Mg, Mg is magnesium. As long as you know that, that's all you need to know about the elements. And I didn't count them, but there's about 70, 80-ish of these that you need to know total. But most of these are actually really easy. H is hydrogen, Li is lithium, Be is beryllium. Most of them are actually pretty simple. Okay, well, good luck and studying for the elements.